Hello and welcome to World Talks here on TVP World. I'm Skaya. Christmas shopping is breaking records, fueled by e-commerce and aggressive promotions. But behind the festive boom lies a less visible cost: overworked couriers, underpaid retail staff, and a labor market built on short-term contracts. And joining me now in studio to discuss whether this seasonal surge really actually strengthens the economy or exposes its weakest link. And this is Professor Waldemar Karpa from the Kozminski University. Professor, so glad to have you here with us on World Talks.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
All right, Professor. Well, I said Christmas shopping is breaking records, but it's also breaking our bank accounts, at least mine. Before I go into the details, I want to ask you, have you done all your Christmas shopping, and are you doing it online?
I'm doing this mostly online, just to skip the waiting lines. And yesterday I just spotted so many people on the street and pretty much everywhere. So I just wanted to skip that rush. So I've done my shopping online.
Everything is nice and packed.
Everything is ready. Yeah.
Well, guess what? Lucky you, because I still haven't. Anyhow, well, Professor, I want to ask you, from an economist perspective, do you think that e-commerce and all these aggressive tactics and price promotions that we're seeing, do you think this kind of consumption surge is actually strengthening our labor markets, or it's really like a short-term, low-quality employment that we're seeing?
Okay, this is more complicated than this, because I will start with saying maybe something more precise, just for our viewers, for them to make it very clear. Basically, private consumption is one of the most important drivers of our economy. So basically, so everybody is a part of the household, we are spending on consumption. This consumption in our country accounts for almost 60% of our GDP. So obviously spending is something that we would like to see. Obviously, it is not always the case that our spending translates ultimately towards better functioning of the labor market. Obviously, we are observing some problems associated with underpaid workers. However, working on Sundays, for instance, is paid more. So just from that point of view, it's obviously... So
why underpaid workers, though? You're saying underpaid workers. Hey, it's Christmas. Shouldn't it be the opposite, really, if you look at it this way?
Underpaid in the sense that obviously this is still considered to be an unskilled job. So obviously, I wouldn't expect those people to earn extremely high wages. This is pretty much normal. And I think that, and this on positive side, that this year they will receive decent bonuses for working longer hours. So,
really?
Yeah. This is confirmed, and I read a lot of articles about it.
Let me ask you this. In the case of e-commerce and delivery services, do you think that we're seeing real productivity or simply more work being extracted from the same workforce under much tighter conditions?
Well, working hours are regulated by law, obviously. And there is some kind of automation, robotization going on. We do not see for the moment a huge surge in productivity. But this is more on the, let's say, supply side of the market. Obviously, right now, those workers are working long hours, that's for sure. But, well, I'm sure that robotization, AI, will smooth this process. Maybe not this year, but next year, pretty much soon, we should see those productivity gains.
So it's going to take over more jobs, essentially, also, what you're saying from...
Well, it depends.
Can we expect
it depends. The discussion is extremely complex on that topic, because we cannot claim that robotization or automatization will automatically destroy more jobs that it can actually create. Usually, you would like to see from AI to be little helpers for workers, So I think that I'd rather see the future on the positive side. So if we combine, let's say, skilled workers and then fancy, sophisticated machines, in that case, we may observe a really nice positive productivity gains.
Professor, let me ask you, I mean, consumers, of course, enjoy lower prices, and particularly in this time of the year, we want a lot more faster deliveries. I mean, we want things, we order them now, but we want them delivered to us yesterday, okay, kind of thing. But who's ultimately paying for this convenience? Do you think it's companies, workers, or actually the broader economy through hidden social costs?
Well, I don't think this is a hidden social cost. I would rather say that this is some kind of positive spillover effect and everything is overlapping a little bit. It's very difficult for me to judge whether the bigger dynamics of e-commerce is created by a particular actor. Obviously, usually companies are there to fulfill our needs. So basically, they will do anything that is possible for them to ease the consumption for us. So, well, I think that in the future, we would observe more, let's say, once again, a higher smoothing of all those actors. But, well, social costs are always there. But usually we should deal on this with negotiation. We have unions in Poland, we have branch organizations. It's also their role to sit around the table and to discuss about working conditions. I'm not claiming that obviously the labor conditions and working conditions are excellent, but this is Europe, this is Poland, this is the European Union. It is decent.
Do you see the necessity of improvement in these sectors, like improving worker conditions? And
maybe for the workers that are involved within the gig economy. So oftentimes they do not have necessary social backup in terms of social security. So we can have a discussion about those contracts. But obviously, well, still in Europe, our labor market is way more sclerotic than it is in the US.
Right.
So we have a bigger social security, but at the same time, we have less hiring and less separation.
You're saying less hiring, but I mean, let's talk for a moment here about these workers that are hired seasonally, right? And particularly during Christmas time. Let's look at past Christmas, past New Year's. What happens to these workers come January, come February, who were hired for the peak season? I mean, do you think that it's economically efficient, socially and economically wasteful? How do you see that?
Well, for the economy, they are needed. They're just fitting the gap. So someone must do the job, basically, must deliver the job.
Yeah, right.
What I can observe from my perspective is that those seasonal jobs are often complementary for students, for people who are working elsewhere. So, well, if someone treats this as principal jobs, well, for that person, seasonality can be of a problem. But, well, for plumbers, this kind of stuff, usually what I'm observing is that they treat it as a complementary job. So to some extent, it is beneficial to everyone. I would say that this is rather a win-win situation.
That's how you see it, a win-win situation for both.
Absolutely.
So then let me ask you this. Do you think that this kind of seasonal consumption, also looking at it from another perspective, from a macroeconomic perspective, if I ask you, actually contribute to sustainable growth?
Consumption obviously contributes to economic growth, always. Now, for sustainability, it's more complicated than this, because sustainable growth is all about developing for the future and securing everything that is needed for the future. But if we manage to change a little bit the consumption patterns, the way we're shopping for stuff, let us try to consume locally, just to back up domestic producers, to create domestic value. I think this is important, and I'm observing this within the new generation of people. I mean, young people that are more aware about sustainability.
Okay, and to also want to contribute to the local economy, maybe?
Absolutely, absolutely. They want to consume local. They're super happy, you know. It is not only the case of Warsaw when we are having those, you know, markets with local produce, but also elsewhere important. I think that the young generation is more and more conscious about what is at stake for us for the future. So, you know, we are the biggest component of economic life, and we can do a lot. We can do a lot, because usually we are expecting government to provide us some, you know, fancy regulation to build the design market. However, well, we can do a lot with our consumption habits and actions.
Thank you so much, Professor Waldemar Karpa from Kozminski University, for breaking it down for us here on World Talks.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching this episode of World Talks. I'm Skaya. We'll see you here next time.